It's been almost a year since I first tested in Sword PvP, being initially given the rank low tier 5, which is the worst tier that one can get. After that, I slowly climbed my way up to low tier 4, which is what's considered the average tier. And just a few months ago, I made it my goal to get low tier 3, which is the highest rank that one can get without high tier testing. However, in my last test, despite doing, well, pretty average, I somehow ended up getting demoted to low tier 5. And honestly, if this doesn't demotivate you, nothing else in the world probably will either. And so, I almost gave up, but after testing on Marlow's list and getting low tier 3, I realized that it was my time. Whether I got low tier 3 or not, it was finally time to rise above low tier 4 and finally redeem myself. So the first step to redeem myself, well, was obviously to get better. After viewing footage of my previous tests, I did notice some flaws, mostly that had to do with ping and playstyle. With my playstyle being heavily reliant on W tapping, I knew that I couldn't win fights against higher ping players. And after training for low tier 3, I realized that the best option was to sprint hit not just to combo, but also to create opportunities for critical hits. And after fighting a bot with quite literally superhuman abilities, I decided that it was time to test out this strategy on some people in Stray. And now, it was time to test. With me having successfully obtained low tier 3 on Marlow's, it was finally time to test on Learns. With many people believing me to be boosted on Marlow's tier list, I knew that I had to prove them wrong. But then again, this time I went on a quest not to get low tier 3, not to prove myself to you guys, but to prove to myself that I could do it. I needed a confirmation that all my effort wasn't wasted, that I was actually doing something. All these videos, you've heard me say the same thing, that I was already low tier 3 to begin with. That it was set in stone and that it was only a matter of time. But the truth is, the whole time I've been trapped in darkness. You see, the thing is, you cannot prove anything to anyone if you do not believe what you are saying yourself. This whole time, the one barrier that had kept me from getting low tier 3 was not my ping, not my testers, but myself. And today, I plan to lift that barrier once and for all. It was finally time. With my tier test concluding with a final score of 4 to 10, now all I had to do was wait for my tester's response. The one sentence that would assign my tier, that would decide if this entire journey had been worth a single second of my time. Though getting low tier 3 was already out of the question, I still did improve a massive amount. However, the chances of me getting high tier 4 were still up to the tester. And though you cannot control which way the wind blows, adjust your sails enough and you will eventually always reach your destination. It's been quite a while since I started this journey, hasn't it? My first test a year ago and just 6 months ago I made it my goal to get low tier 3. The tier list community has changed a lot since then. Anyway, since it's summer break, I do have to go back to Malaysia again this year to visit my family, so I guess this is goodbye for now. But I can assure you, I will be back.
Look at my eyes, tell me your tale, do you see the road? I'm out to my soul, and tell me the size whenever the smoke clear out of my face and my picture perfect, do I look fried? All of that green and yellow that drip from your eyes.